So, a massive freezing rainstorm hit my area and took out my power for nearly a week. In that time, I wasn't able to work on the videos I wanted to. But while I get back to working on those videos, I figured I would make a quick video inspired by living like a caveman for a few days. Introducing Club Percent. It's basically an any percent run, but focusing on clubs. I will be using move swap and spell swap to speed things up, but any boss damage will come from a club. While Club Percent isn't a real category, a lot of what I'll be doing here can be applied to the actual speedrun categories. I'll be explaining the various tricks I do as I go along, so if you're interested in learning how to speedrun Dark Souls Remastered, you may find this video helpful. Starting off, you may have noticed me weapon toggling as I'm running. This isn't just for fun. Performing an upper body animation when you start running causes your character to instantly accelerate to max speed. You can also do this by blocking, toggling handing, and arrow toggling with a bow, aka bow toggling. I'm also playing as a male character due to the way characters accelerate and decelerate. Male characters both accelerate and decelerate slower than female characters in Dark Souls 1. Because of the slower deceleration, male characters are slightly faster due to the fact that we can instantly accelerate. We're going to equip our club as we go through the fog gate to avoid the time waste menuing causes, then perform the first trick, jumping next to the breakable wall, and then saving and quitting. The stand-up animation on loading in is designed to do environmental damage to avoid the player getting stuck in objects, but it does enough damage to break the wall, so we can skip the boulder. From there, we mash through Oscar's dialogue, leaving his speaking range as soon as he gives us the key. To avoid the boulder, you can stand on the very edge of the stairs. It's pretty tight, and I messed up and went a little too far. Not a big time loss though. Run around the hollow, through the door, and go to the spot where some classes get their second weapon. We need to wait here for the next hollow to get out of our way. Unfortunately for me, I got hit by the hollow's janky hitbox, which caused me to be too slow to run around the following hollow, so I had to take him out to get through. Starting off for the Asylum Demon fight, we're going to jump into our plunging attack. This sometimes lets you get an extra hit in on him. Once you're on the ground, it's just using light attacks and trying to get into position where you don't need to dodge his attacks, so you can keep your DPS up. We're going to immediately unequip our club once he's down, and open the door when the key prompt pops up. When you open the door, close the used key message, then save and quit out. The flag for doors being open is set as soon as you start opening them, and due to the Souls games using the in-game timer, quitting out is faster than waiting for the animation to finish. Grab the soul on the way out, then run to the edge of the cliff. As soon as the screen starts fading out for the cutscene, hold the select button, which brings up the gesture menu, and start mashing start. When you load in at Lordran, the gesture menu will cancel the level up message, allowing us to run immediately. Our next stop is Petrus, and we're going to perform the next trick here, the brightness dupe. If we highlight brightness and press R1 and A at the same time, we'll be able to stack the interfaces. From there, we use the D-pad to go down to the soul and press A, while the brightness menu is over the bar. We then press right and down on the D-pad at the same time to scroll down the brightness menu without scrolling the item menu. You can see the glitched text still on use item, not drop item, if you've done it right. From there, you press right to move over to defaults, then press A. You'll now be able to use 99 of the soul we picked up. After going through Petrus' dialogue and agreeing to his prompts, we buy Force, Homeward, and 2 talismans. On the way out, press B once and walk out of his dialogue range to skip his leaving dialogue. You can optimize his dialogue a bit more by stacking interfaces, but I wouldn't worry about that unless you're nearing world record pace. On the elevator, move the dark sign to the top of the item list and heal up if necessary. There's not much else to do on the elevator ride, so we won't lose any time. Once the elevator arrives, jump over to the left and grab the S-Stock. We'll want this for move swap later. After that, head into the Valley of Drakes. Here we stick to the left path and jump across the gap, as it's a bit faster than crossing the bridge. Next, we're going to grab the soul from between the undead dragon's talons. This soul will give us all the levels we'll need when combined with the brightness dupe. Our next destination is the Red Tearstone Ring, and we'll need to avoid some drakes along the way. Watch which way this drake angles its head. If it looks straight, run around its left. If it turns to your right, run around its right. Be ready to run around the next drake's left wing. If it shoots lightning, you can run under its wing instead. Stick to the far left side of the bridge as you approach the next drake. Once you're past its head and it starts attacking, move a bit to the right so you don't fall off the bridge. From there, it's pretty much a straight shot to the ladder. While climbing the ladder, we're going to equip our 2 talismans, one to our right hand and the other to the second slot of our left hand. Then we're going to get another brightness dupe setup for the soul we picked up. You can't use items while on a ladder, so don't press A on defaults until you're finished climbing. I messed up here and accidentally buffered a roll out of the soul pop, so I had to quit out. After grabbing the ring, roll directly out from the tower. Mash roll as you land to cancel the landing animation, and roll forward. If you don't, the drakes will blast you with lightning. From there, run over to the elevator. After triggering the elevator, run under it and quit out. When we load back in, we'll be at the top. This is a glitch called an elevator upwarp. At the bonfire, we're going to get 12 attunement, 20 endurance, 40 strength, and 12 faith. We're also going to attune force and homeward, which will allow us to perform the homeward wrong warp glitch. Run outside and grab the Grass Crest shield, and afterwards, run past the Black Knight. One nice thing about this run is no Black Knight weapon RNG. Once your stamina is almost empty, quickly equip the new shield. If you're fast enough, you won't lose any time. We're going to make a quick stop here to loot the nearby corpse. Every item we get here will have a use in this run. Afterwards, it's straight to the Undead Parish. Although the Titanite demon might appear scary, you can pretty much always just run straight around him with no danger. Now in the tower, we're going to light the bonfire, then perform one of the route's harder tricks, the homeward wrong warp. This is a combination of the spell swap glitch, with falling off of a ledge and resting at a bonfire. To perform it, you need to cast Force on your left-hand talisman, then 1 frame later, cast Homeward on your right-hand talisman. The result is that you'll get the first spell's animation with the second spell's effect. To make this easier, I use keyboard bindings found by Scoops. Shift plus O switches spells, Shift plus P performs the right-hand action, and Control plus O performs the left-hand action. This makes it so you can just hold Control and Shift, and only need to time pressing O and P 1 frame apart. When done correctly, you can rest at the bonfire as the screen starts fading out, which will cause you to end up at the default location of the area the last bonfire you rested at was in. In this case, it's the start of New Londo Ruins. Next, we're going to start heading towards Blighttown, and when our stamina is almost empty, we're going to equip all of the leather armor. This is to prep us for the next trick, meme rolling. Meme rolling is caused by getting our equip load greater than 25% and less than or equal to 29.1%. This puts us in a state where we can chain rolls through the air and land during the iframes of the final roll, avoiding fall damage completely. Make sure your right hand talisman is put away, then swap it for the club as you approach the ledge. Run off at about a 45-degree angle from where the beam is sticking out from the scaffolding, plunge, then mash roll until you land safely. Make sure you're at full stamina when you plunge. Take off the club and all of your armor when you get to the bottom. We'll need to do a bunch of rolling through the swamp, so we want to reduce our equip load to have less roll recovery frames. There are different tiers of recovery frames based on how high your equip load is, even if you're fast rolling. The fastest recovery is at 0%, and every tier greater than 0% is approximately 4.15% equip load apart in Remastered. Make your way over to the caveman stream weapon, the giant club. From there, we're going to start heading towards Quelaag. We're going to set up move swap for this fight. I'm playing on version 1.01 of Remastered, which makes it easier to set up. To perform it, equip the S-stock to your right hand and the bow to your left hand. Bow toggle, then hold the left bumper, open the menu, select the dark sign, hover over use item, press A, then 1 frame later, press start. If done right, you'll have a glitched prompt over your stamina bar. From there, get ready to swap the bow for the great club, turn around, and right as your character turns 180 degrees, equip it. This will two-hand the great club in your left hand. This causes the club to inherit the running, rolling, and plunging attacks from the S-stock, which will significantly improve our DPS. For Quelaag, we want to mainly stay close to the left side of the spider's head, as most of her attacks can't hit us there. Run away if she does her explosion attack, roll if you aren't in a safe position when she uses her sword, and do as much damage as possible when she does the long lava spray attack. When you get her down, swap the Great Club for the Grass Crest Shield and run to the lever. We're not going to warp out immediately when we pull the lever, as we'll get a homeward bone after the cutscene, which will allow us to keep the souls from Quelaag. Back in the parish, head downstairs to Andre, buy 9 shards, and upgrade the club to +5. We can skip Andre's leaving dialogue like Petrus, but it's a bit harder to pull off. When you're done, dark sign back to the bonfire. As soon as you load in, equip the Grass Crest Shield to your right hand. I messed up when doing this and was pretty slow. Since the shield is now in our right hand, we'll want to toggle our left hand to avoid losing the stamina buff. Our next destination is the gargoyles. Bait the Balder Knight on the stairs into an attack so we can get around him. Watch for any hollows attacking in the next room, dodging if necessary, and use the shield to shove the hollow in the doorway out of the way if he doesn't run out. On the ladder, equip the S-stock and bow, so we're prepped for move swap again. Set up move swap, and you'll destroy the gargoyles. While climbing this next ladder, equip the red tearstone ring and the feather arrows. Ring the bell, then immediately warp out. Our next destination is Sense Fortress, which is one of the easiest areas to get through. Run through until you reach the blade traps. Run into the side of the first trap as it swings by, and then you can just run straight past the rest of the blades. Go towards the man-serpent's right, and then run around his left. Here we'll again run into the side of the first trap. Be prepared to dodge if the man-serpent's lightning bolt looks like it's going to get past the trap. Run into the corner outside the doorway, wait for the boulder to pass, then run straight to the fog gate. As you run over the next trap, just make sure you go all the way around the table to make it through safely. Go up the stairs, jump in, save and quit when you pass the second pillar on your left. This lets us get up the stairs without having to deal with the boulders. Run straight down the middle of the next hallway, and the traps won't hit you. Next is another blade trap, and again we just run into the side of the first blade. Get ready to smack this man-serpent out of the way. On rare occasions he does run forward, but you can still usually smack him out of the way, or just jump by him. More blade traps, and it's the same as the others. From there, head straight to the top of the fortress. If the Baldur Knight is in your way, smack him, then set up move swap, and enter the fight. There are slightly faster ways to take out the Iron Golem by hitting him on your initial pass, but a very consistent method is to just run next to his right foot to make him turn, then hit the lower part of his leg to stagger him. Notice that I'm angling the camera down here, as your character does point their weapon towards the camera when attacking. I was a bit slow on equipping the Grass Crest shield, so I ended up getting hit by a firebomb on the way out. Now in Anne Orlando, head straight towards the elevator. As we approach, I'm going to swap the S-Stock with the Great Club to do some meme rolling. I try to stay close to the left edge, then roll over one of the lines on the ground, towards the end of one of the lines on the white part of the tiles. We'll end up hitting a platform under us and rolling off, where we'll want to save and quit. From there we can safely meme roll down to the bottom. When we land, unequip the club to get rid of the extra weight. If you aren't confident in doing this trick, you can take the elevator down instead, as it only saves about a second. In the painting room, climb the ladder, and hope you don't get hit with throwing knives. Running across the rafters looks scarier than it actually is. The scarier part is the RNG on the painting guardians. Be ready to smack them out of the way if they run in front of you, and be ready to dodge if they run too close behind you. I'm going to attempt a tight jump around this pillar to the end, but it can be pretty hard to pull off. I was late with my jump, so instead of wasting time trying it again, I'm going to do the slightly slower, but much easier backup jump. After turning the staircase, I again try another tight jump onto the stair rail, as it's a little bit faster. I didn't get it, but again, no significant time loss. If the giant here does his horizontal slash attack, you'll need to dodge. Any other attacks, you can just run straight past. Here I try to jump and bounce off the railing, then toggle out of the landing. I missed it, but it doesn't really matter. Angle the camera backwards here to watch for the demons throwing spears at you. We also don't want to run down the middle here, or the game will think that you're falling and damage you when you get to the bottom. Dodge the arrows as you approach the archer, then bait him into falling off of the ledge. After going through the fog gate, I heal up as I'm going to be doing a red tearstone ring setup here. First, I let the Silver Knight hit me with a running attack. Next, we jump over the railing here to avoid having to go all the way up and around. Here we drop off right at the top, and the fall damage will trigger the ring. For O and S, we're going to take advantage of the trigger skip method to make the fight nice and easy. Trigger the cutscene, save and quit, drop an item at the right corner of the fog gate, angle the camera a certain way, then enter the fog gate by pressing A on your controller, and 1 frame later pick up the item by pressing E on your keyboard. This will let us enter the fog gate at a weird angle, bypassing the fight's trigger. I have a dedicated tutorial for this skip, which I'll link in the description. From there, set up Move Swap, and we can take out Ornstein for free. Smo is also basically free, as we can stun lock him. You'll want to angle the camera up for this fight, to make sure your attack doesn't go between his legs. Equip the bow on the elevator, then run to the door. Shoot the illusion of Guinevere when you load back in, as it's faster than talking to her. Then warp out when the souls from her form into a ball in the middle. Immediately warp over to Firelink, then plunge into Framp's pit. Place the Lord Vessel, warp over to the Undead Parish, and equip your right-hand talisman during the animation. Once here, perform the Force Quit Wrong Warp again, exactly the same way we did the first time. I messed up with the railing a couple times here. And we're already at the kiln. We're going to let the first Black Knight hit us with his running stab to trigger the red Tearstone ring again. Don't run too close to the chunk of rock by the next Black Knight, or he can run off and land on you. Also be ready to dodge if he attacks. I always run around the right of the next knight, as he has an attack that can hit you on his left. The next knight you can run straight past, he never hits. And for the final knight, run around his left. Jump and save and quit at the Fog Gate. We're again going to be using Move Swap for Gwyn, as it'll out DPS parrying him. First, bait out his jump attack, dodging if necessary. From there, hit him with a running attack, and we'll stun him as long as we land both hits. While he's stunned, run behind him to his right. His slow turning speed will give us enough time to keep hitting him with running attacks before he can attack. I missed one attack which led to a fairly scary moment with him dodging, but fortunately I was able to recover. It is a bit faster to finish him off with a riposte to skip his long death animation, but I decided to play it safe and take the easy win. And that's club percent completed. You won't set any records with this route, but it is a non-RNG weapon route that's still pretty fast and fun. I hope you found this video helpful or entertaining, and I will see you guys in another video, where hopefully my power doesn't go out for a week again.